Hey guys, today I'm at Armor GWD to do some important testing, and this testing has been made easier due to the release of the boss timer update today, which will allow you to time the amount of time you take to kill a boss in an instance. Now, what I'm going to try and do in this video, which I've been wanting to do for a while, is see which weapons are essentially the best, I guess you could say, but in my opinion the highest DPS against a reasonably high leveled opponent. Maybe not the most high leveled opponent, but a reasonably high leveled opponent. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I got inspired by Dardan's video, which was released a few days ago, I think, in which he tested this in Legacy on the KBD. But here I'm going to do it in the EOC, and I'm going to do it in a way which is as fair as possible. And what I'm going to do is only use Revolution, only use the following quick prayers, and obviously the aura doesn't matter, it's vampirism, it won't damage anymore. I'm on a Slayer task incidentally, but that doesn't matter because I'm only going to be comparing these four sets of weapons, so the Ascensions, the Chaotics, the Royal Crossbow and the Zarite Bow. Obviously the Ascensions, well, hopefully the Ascensions are gonna get me faster kill times than these three, but mainly it's to see which of these three is actually the fastest in EOC. I've got Royal Bolt for these two because Ascensions don't hit as high as Royal Bolts do with these two, and this obviously doesn't need any bolts. As for my action bar, I've got suggested this by Clanny at Nex because of the recent changes to abilities after Legacy came out. So some abilities are better than others now. So I've been suggested this. I thought this was a pretty good order to put them in. So hey, it doesn't really matter, seeing as it's going to be exactly the same for every one of them, except this one. This one's going to be swapped with this one for the two-handed weapons, obviously. So yeah. For the first kill, the first kill won't count. I'm going to do 5 kills. I know that's not a big sample size, but the restricting factor in my decision was that I might not have enough kills with my Slayer helmet. So, well, with my Slayer task to do more than 5 per bow. So that was the restricting factor for that, because if I ran out of if I finished my Slayer task beforehand, then obviously the DPS will be much lower for the bow that I use after I finish my Slayer task. So let's get started, guys. I will just record 5 kills of each bow and record the time, hopefully. I don't know how it works yet, we'll see, and put it in an Excel spreadsheet and we will analyze it. I'll be doing this for all 4, well not all 4, 3 of the 4 GWD bosses for each of the combat styles, starting with range now. It looks like I need to establish some ground rules here. So the timer started as soon as I made the instance, so this kill didn't count. I guess I need to have 0 adrenaline at the start of the kill. I also should not use any abilities manually, so everything has to be through Revolution, and I don't think I'll have to eat if I'm at this sort of health at the start of the kill and I'm in this corner. So hopefully that will help. And yeah, I think that's about it. The timer was fine, so there's no problems with the timer. Seems fine in terms of how it runs. So no abilities during the kill. Try not to eat, and try not to switch weapons or do anything else. Yeah, there we go, that started. Let's see how long this one takes. Okay, so I've done all 4 of the ranged weapons, and here are the results, guys. As you can see, it's quite expected, but as you have a look at that, let me just talk about what actually happened. So I did mess up slightly. I mean, there was obviously a human error involved, like I didn't immediately turn on prayer as soon as he spawned and immediately attack him, and sometimes my overload ran out in the middle of the kill and my prayers. And the main problem was that basically I forgot to put back the Dragon Rider amulet on. I had the demon horn necklace for 1 kill for each of the bows. So I guess that was balanced, but I had it on for 2 kills for one of them as well, so that may have changed it slightly. But as you can see, the results are not a measure of seeing like average kill speeds at armor and stuff. They are a measure of seeing which is the better bow DPS wise. Let me emphasize this, because I'm not very good at like looking at new information about how weapons work, how DPS works and so on. So my way of doing this is, well, by basically making this video, testing it out for myself. Obviously it won't apply to every single situation, but as you can see, basically dual ascensions are way ahead, well, not way ahead, but significantly faster in terms of time, and the others are very close. It's really hard to pick a winner out of them. I guess Zarite if you want to be really keen, but I don't think my sample size is big enough. Now moving on to Mage, and I'm gonna go to Armor for this. I mean, not Armor, Sarah, beloved Sarah. Let's hope I get a hilt. Hey guys, as you can see, I had to sell a lot of stuff, but I decided to get the Seismic Wand and Singularity. Now, I've never bought or used a Seismic Wand ever before. This is my first ever Seismic Wand. The only reason I was able to buy it was because it crashed, otherwise I'd definitely not be able to buy it. And even then I had to sell quite a few stuff from my PVM tab, which I will rebuy later on after I sell this. But yeah, it's finally here, and I have got the kill count. I'm ready to do the Mage part of the testing. Now I'm going to be using Ice Barrage. Let me make sure to switch to it. And yeah, same drill, using Torment instead of Anguish. These are the abilities that I figured were the best. I checked them out. They've been changed slightly. I mean, Combust now hits twice if the target moves, a bit like I think it's Fragmentation Shot. Let's see, yeah, so a bit like that. So I'm using that. I'm using this one, Concentrated Blast, which I'll swap with Sonic Wave for the two-handed one, Chaotic Staff. I've only got 3 things now, so the Dual Seismic, Dual Virtus and the Chaotic Staff. So I guess we'll get started. I've derped quite a bit. I've forgotten what was it, let me see, Bone Crusher, and I've also forgotten the trusty old, well, new Gold Collector, so, and the Charming Imp as well. But oh well, hopefully I can last quite a bit. I brought full Sea Singers so I can last it out, because Sarah does hit quite a bit. And I would like to do more than 5, but to keep it fair with the range part of this video, I decided to go with 5 kills this time as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Really excited to use my Seismic for the first time against the boss, and I'll try not to commit the same mistakes I did in the previous part of this video. After my first taste of Seismics, I'm happy to say that they exceeded my expectations. They were really good, and the average time was actually 60.6 seconds per kill. Using Seismics, which is like 10 seconds better than using Dual Ascensions at Kriara. Technically I shouldn't be comparing these two because they're at different places, but yeah, that was just to give you guys an idea about how good Seismics are. And yeah, using the other 2 weapons, I found that the times were very similar once again. Dual Virtus was 77.4 average and Chaotic Staff was 76.2. Both varied greatly. Like the difference between the worst time and the best time with the Chaotic Staff was 15 seconds. Now I believe this is because its attack speed is much slower, so if Zuliana has only a few HP left, then it may take a while to kill her, whereas using Dual Virtus it will be a bit faster. But there was a big flaw, well, not a big flaw, but there was a small flaw with my tactics, in that I didn't have enough basics in my bar, especially with the Chaotic Staff, because with Dual Seismics and Dual Virtus I'd pretty much only use the first 4 basics, because it would just run through them, it would just recharge really quickly and it will go back to the first one. But with the Chaotic Staff, because it recharged really slowly, sometimes I had to wait like 2 seconds before any of my basics were available on Revolution, so that was a little bit of an issue. So I'd probably say Chaotic Staffs are better than Dual Virtus here. Even the time with this little issue is better for the Chaotic Staff. Obviously the sample size isn't great, but it would have been even better, if that makes any sense. So I'd probably say Chaotic Staff better than Dual Virtus, which is why Dual Virtus has crashed so much over the past 6 months or so. But yeah, Dual Seismics all the way for Mage. We're finally at the last combat style to test out, and for this one I've chosen to go with the dual Drago longswords. They look the best in my opinion, and to make sure it's sort of kind of fair, I chose to go for the dual Chaotix instead of the dual Rapiers, because this is also slash. And for my third one I went for the Chaotic Maul, because there aren't any non-chaotic level 80 melee weapons in the game, so that's what I did. And as for my action bar, well, that's also been updated, so I've tried to put the highest DPS basics at the front, so that they get used up first to make it as fair as possible. As for my armor, same drill, try to use the same type of armor. So as you can see, Glacier boots and automaton gloves and ports armor. Comp cape, 6-stage circuit, vampirism, well that doesn't really affect DPS, and good point, I need to switch back to Dragon Rider amulet, and there you have it. Hopefully I get a good comparison with the other combat styles at the end, even though technically I shouldn't be comparing it because I'm not killing the same boss with 3 combat styles, but hopefully it'll be fairly okay to compare it. The main point of this video obviously is to compare between between the weapons I use for each combat styles, not between combat styles themselves. So let's get started. I do believe they've added a slight delay from when you start your instance to when they start the timer. The boss doesn't spawn immediately now, so let me just check that, I suppose. Let's go. Yes, I do wish to pay 1, and there we go. Okay, right, let's activate the prayers, activate this, and activate this. Okay, that's good, that's good. It didn't activate until the boss actually spawned, which took a few seconds, so that's good. And I'll meet you guys at the end of this section. From my interpretations of these times and the way I killed them and how I generally felt about it, I'd probably say this is probably the least reliable test, because, well, the gap between dual Dries and dual Chaotix and Chaotic Maul, it's very small, and I also got my record time using the dual Chaotic Longs, even though the average is much higher. Somehow managed to get some really insane hits in and get a 34-second kill, which was my personal best. So I wouldn't look too much into it, but obviously dual Dries is still the best. Not much to choose between the Chaotic Maul and the dual Chaotic Longs, but again, because of the hugely varying times, I'd probably need to have done a lot more kills before I could come to a conclusion about which is better out of the Chaotic Maul and the dual Chaotic Longs. So yeah, as I said, the result of this video is as expected. The level 90 weapons are better than the level 80 weapons for whatever style you use, but the level 80 weapons are so equal, there's barely anything to separate them in terms of time, that overall I would really say it's up to choice. Probably the Chaotic Staff is a little bit better than the dual Virtus, but with every other level 80 weapon there's nothing to really make one stand out more than the other. Even with the Chaotic Staff it's only minute. So yeah, again, I wouldn't look too much into this video in terms of making you choose your weapons for like a really high level boss fight like Virago or Nex or something. This is basically just a test for myself, nothing in-depth and major, just 5 kills as I said. And yeah, I've tried to make it as fair as possible. Obviously it hasn't been completely fair, but I've tried to make it as fair as possible, as I said. And the general conclusion is that level 90 weapons are better. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and do feel free to check out GWD and other bosses using the timers. They really are quite good. The only problem is you need to pay some money for everything except Calfight King if you want to make an instance, and you can only use the timers if you make an instance, but still it's really fun. And they've also added the boss kill counts and the Slayer monster kill counts. Well, they haven't brought it out yet, but whatever you kill since Tuesday's update, or was it, no, Monday's update, wait, I forgot, yeah, Monday's update. Since then, whatever you kill in that list, you can see the Horus homepage for that list, that will start counting towards that kill count, which they should bring out later on in the month, or maybe next month, I'm not sure. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I really hope you enjoyed, and I've definitely enjoyed the experience of using dual seismics for the first time. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.